Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time. Today I'll brief you on 3 things CPC management cares about most: how our ratings stack up against competitors, whether we can responsibly forecast those ratings, and whether hiring stars or focusing on facts-based programming actually moves the needle. All results are reproducible in the Excel file and summarized in the slides. Here's the plan. I'll start with a quick comparison of average ratings across the 3 networks to ground us. Then I'll go beyond the average with descriptive statistics to show how consistent or how volatile those ratings are. From there, I'll walk through CBC's monthly trend and explain what we can and cannot forecast. Next, I'll answer the STARS questions with a hypothesis test, and then evaluate STARS and fact-based programming together using multiple regression. I'll close with clear recommendations and the supporting files so everything is reproducible. On the bar chart, you'll see the simple comparison of average ratings by network. CBC mean rating is roughly 13.6, BBS is about 14.4, and ABN is the highest at approximately 15.3 at face value. That says CBC is close to BBS and a bit behind ABN. If all we cared about were long run averages, that would be the end of the story. But it isn't, because advertisers buy specific nights and time slots, not a theoretical long run mean. So we go beyond the mean. In the descriptive statistics table, look at 3 rows: standard deviation, range, and median. Standard deviation and range quantify how bumpy the ride is. A tighter spread means more predictable delivery. Median tells us what a typical night looks like if a few outliers hits are pulling the mean upward. For CBC, the variance and the range indicate meaningful week-to-week movement. That doesn't make our content poor, it means the portfolio behaves more like a stock with higher volatility. If we keep the average constant but reduce the volatility through programming choices and scheduling, we improve our commercial reliability and can defend better rates with fewer make goods. What this means in practice is that consistency is a lever we can pull. Even if our average stays the same, reducing week to week volatility improves our deliverability and lowers make good risks, which advertises value. The fastest path are programming and scheduling choices. Pair shows with stronger leads in and leads out. Avoid stacking similar weak slots. And tune the mix to trim the low tail without dulling the highs. Package nights where we're reliably strong and put incremental promo weight where it stabilizes performance. In short, we should manage the risk profile of our ratings, not just the level. Now on to forecasting. Management asks, can we project our ratings forward into the next few months? We built monthly averages for CBC across the year and fit 2 very standard baselines: a straight line that trends, a straight linear trend, and a simple second order polynomial. These are deliberately conservative. If they don't work, we shouldn't trust more exotic models. The results are clear. Both fits explain relatively little of the variation. Linear models R squared is about 0.23 and the quadratic is about 0.34. That means most of the real world movement isn't captured by these shapes. It's, in practical terms, extending these lines into the future is unreliable. The polynomial in particular can curve attractively through the past but quickly becomes unrealistic outside the sample. What will we need for a trustworthy forecast? At minimum, multi-year data, explicit seasonality, calendar and time slot effects, promotion and competitive counter programming, and a real validation step. Holding out future weeks and measuring accuracy with MAPE or RMSE before we deploy the model. If forecasting is strategic priority, our recommendation is to invest in the expanded dataset and a proper backtesting framework. Until then, treat simple trends line as descriptive, not predictive. Next question from the team: should CBC pay for stars? We tested this directly for CBC movies, comparing titles with stars to titles without. We use standard equal variance t-test at the 95% confidence level. The outcome is straightforward. We do not find statistical evidence that star-driven titles rate higher in this dataset. The test statistics is approximately 0.27 and a one-tailed p-value around 0.39. In plain English, the observed difference is well within the range of noise we'd expect if stars made no real difference. The 95% confidence interval for the difference spans negative and positive values, about minus 1.2 to plus 1.6. So the true effect could be slightly negative or slightly positive or essentially zero. Based on this, we should not pay a star premium on rating grounds alone. A star might still be worth it for marketing splash, public relation, or strategic branding, but not because we can bank on a rating lift in the data. What about fact-based programming? And what if we look at stars and facts together? We ran a multiple regression on CBC only, modeling ratings as a function of a stars indicator and a fact-based indicator simultaneously. Two key results. First, the overall model doesn't explain much. R squared is roughly 0.06, and the model is not statistically significant. Second, neither coefficient is significant at the 95% level. This means we cannot conclude that either having a star or being fact-based reliably increases ratings for CBC movies in that sample. How should we interpret that? It doesn't mean stars and facts never matter. It means labels alone, stars versus no stars, fact versus fiction, do not predict a consistent rating boost here. Ratings are multi-factor outcomes. Time slots, lead in and lead out, competing programming, marketing way, genre fit, and seasonal timing can all dominate the effect of a simple label. The regression is helpful because it tells us what not to rely on as a primary level. So where does that leave us? We have 3 recommendations. First, focus on consistency as much as level. Our descriptive stats suggest we can improve our value by reducing volatility through smarter slotting, pairing shows with stronger leads in and leads out, and curating a program mix that trims the low tail without scaling the highs. This supports premium inventory positioning with fewer make goods. Second, treat stars and fact-based positioning as tactical, not foundational. Book a star when there is a brand or launch reason, when marketing can amplify it, or when it's part of a broader package that includes a strong time slot and promotion plan. But we should not expect a star premium to pay for itself via ratings lift in isolation. Third, invest in a property forecasting compatibility if forward visibility is required. The current 1-year monthly trends aren't adequate. We recommend assembling multi-year data incorporating calendar and competitive variables, and validating candidate models, ETS, RMA, or regression with fixed effects on hold out periods before we use the forecast for commitments. The process will tell us with evidence how accurate we can expect to be. So thank you so much for this presentation. I just wanted to add a quick word on the deliverables. Everything I've shown today is backed by the Excel workbook. The averages, the descriptive statistics, the monthly roll-ups, and the t-test and the regressions are all computed on the sheet with formulas so the team can refresh results or audit any numbers. The PowerPoint includes concise visuals if you need to circulate this beyond the room. Thank you. I'm happy to take any questions or walk through specific nights, genres, or a proposed testing plan for programming and promotion. Again, thank you so much, and thank you for your time. I hope you guys have a great night.